You're listening
You're
to
listening to Tipsy
Tipsy
Book
Book Reads. I'm
Reads.
Rebecca,
I'm Jess,
I'm Sarah Beth Durst.
and
and
we're
we're tipsy.
tipsy. Welcome to Author Chats. We're so happy that you're here, and a big, big, big congrats on Sea of Charms release.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm here too. Wait, I'll hold it up.
Oh, it is so pretty too. The sprayed edges.
Gorgeous. Oh my gosh, those edges are so stunning.
I love it. Yeah, the artist is Lulu Chan, and she is amazing. I love what she does with the
Amazing.
light and the winged cat. And she got the sea serpent.
It's so perfect.
Amazing. Full disclosure, I listened on audio. It was an amazing audiobook. I loved it.
Oh, I'm so glad you liked it. Yeah, the audiobook narrator is Caitlin Davies, and she does the plant voices with perfection. Like, Reed
Yes.
is exactly how I imagine him. She is fantastic.
Oh yes, I love it. Having a 2-year-old, sometimes it's hard to read a physical book because he's like pulling up my pages, but like he was right there with me listening to the audio, and it was an amazing audiobook.
I love that. I love it. Yeah, audiobooks are great. I mean, one of the tragedies of my childhood is that I get car sick when I read in a car. So audiobooks are a lifesaver for that. 'Cause
True that.
I am the same way. My whole family was. So we used to do a lot of books on tape or CDs or whatever the time was. And that's how I grew up. So I love that audiobooks are so much more accessible now. It's wonderful.
Yes, it is lovely. All forms of reading are reading.
Yes,
Mhm.
we agree.
So agree. So agree.
So, jumping right into Sea of Charms, I did craft up a little cocktail as we do here on Tipsy Book Reads. So, as soon as her dad was talking about the peach pie, I was like, oh my gosh, instantly I knew that that had to be the inspiration for the drink. And I don't know about you, but Becca and I are whiskey girls, and to me it's just like a warm and comforting drink. And that was like, okay, I was like, I knew it had to be peach pie. I knew it had to be whiskey, just something like warm and sweet and like it's not actually a warm drink, but you know what I mean by like warming and just cozy. So I made Marin slice of pie, and it's bourbon, lemon juice, peach preserves, a cinnamon brown sugar simple syrup, and topped with peach and cinnamon. So it's basically like a peach pie whiskey sour.
That's amazing. I wish you could like hand it through the screen. I would
Right?
totally
I
love
would if
that.
I could. I would if I could.
Take it.
Maybe if we see you sometime at the end of the year, we'll have to make you one.
I would love that. Yes, absolutely. That sounds delicious and perfect because peach pie definitely plays a prominent role in the book. Food in general, but peaches, that's the thing for this book.
Mhm.
I'm always hungry reading your books. I work at a bookstore, and we did get an amazing advanced copy, so thank you. But I was reading it at the bookstore, and I was like, I'm so hungry, and there's no bakeries around me, and I need one
I
stat.
apologize, but I don't feel guilty at all.
You shouldn't.
So, I snack the entire time that I'm writing. I have to admit, I cannot write a food scene without like grazing my way through it.
You usually snack on sweet treats, because typically that's what you're describing are like sweet treats.
It varies. I mean, I've never met a pastry that I didn't love, so they're definitely my go-to. But I'm also really fond of cheese. Cheese is an excellent writing food.
That
And
tracks.
so,
That makes sense.
yeah, cheese with bread and crackers, or just going straight for the cheese, gnawing on it like a little mouse will get me through a scene.
Unicorn cheese.
Unicorn cheese is the best, and it's not mentioned in the book, but just so everybody knows, unicorn cheese is lactose free. Oh,
Ah, love that.
That's good to know.
I love that.
So funny.
I'm sure that'll be mentioned in next things that are coming out.
oh yes, yeah, quite heavily.
Good, good.
I mean, these books are full of things that I love, and that's one of the most fun parts about writing it is I get to fill it with things that bring me joy, and food, and peach pie, and all of that brings me great joy, and also is just, I don't know, it ties in with like the theme of what I'm trying to say in all these books that are cozy fantasy, Spell Shop, Enchanted Greenhouse, Sea of Charms. I'm trying to say that there's good in the world, that you should treasure being alive, that you should seize joy, and what is a better metaphor for that than eating a delicious pie with your family.
Yes.
True.
Oh,
I love that.
that's so perfect. I so love that. And I feel like when I'm reading your books, or the cozy fantasy books, that I do giggle a lot because I'm like, am reminded of those sweet moments and just family and kindness.
Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do. Make a real magical escape. Yeah, I can't promise that in my epic fantasy, which has much more depth.
Which we just recently read Queen of Blood for the podcast and discussed that on the podcast. So switching from that to Sea of Charms, we were like, whoa, cozy.
But it was such a breath of fresh air because we had read Spell Shop prior to Romanticon last year, and then going into Queen of Blood, and then now we're finishing up this series, or third one in the series, and it's like, I love seeing your writing on both sides of the spectrum. It's so fascinating, but also like, I don't understand how you compartmentalize it and do both so stinking well, but it's incredible.
Thank you. I love writing both. I mean, the epic fantasy, it's basically, I mean, I'm basically always writing things that talk that shouldn't talk. It's just epic fantasy, they talk and they kill you, and cozy fantasy, they talk and they be your friends. So,
Okay,
yeah,
fair enough. Okay, well, Becca, do you want to just hop to your question about that since we're on the topic?
Yeah, actually, one of our questions today was if you prefer cozy fantasy or the big epic fantasies like Queen of Blood. What do you prefer to read, and what do you prefer to write, if you have a preference?
I love them both. I really do. Just sometimes you need a different kind of story.
Yeah.
So with epic fantasies, they're very much save the world type of structure. Queen of Blood, first in the Queens of Renthia series, is about bloodthirsty nature spirits and the queens that can control them. And this is a world that I would survive about 5 minutes in. I have no survival skills. The trees would eat me instantly. Like, I'd just be gone. So I love that kind of book for the thrill of it, for that feeling that, you know, somebody can save the day, that the tides can be turned, the world can be saved just through trying hard enough. People being noble and good and working together and wanting to save the world. So I love that kind of big story of, you know, demons can be conquered type of feel. The dragon can be defeated. Sauron can be destroyed. I love that kind of story. But I also love the story that cozy fantasy tells, which is saving a heart, which is in the face of things that you can't control happening in the world, you can still make your corner of the world a little better. So to me, it's almost that I'm telling the same story. I'm always talking about hope, just on a different scale. And one, it's the world, and another, it's a person's life, a soul, a heart that we're saving. But it's always I'm always talking about hope and finding that joy, finding that happiness.
I love that. And it is still saving the world. It's just saving someone's world. And that's still just as important. And I absolutely love that.
Yeah, they're both so much fun to write. I'm not even sure that I could have written cozy fantasy if I hadn't written epic first. Because epic is all about, so when you're writing an epic, it's sort of the natural way you learn storytelling, where with each beat you turn it up to 11. You're always ratcheting up the conflict and raising the stakes, and every scene it's like, oh, how can we make this a little harder, a little worse, a little bigger of a mountain to climb?
Yeah.
Whereas in the Spell Shop books, what I'm trying to show is the story of healing, really, where the character begins broken and comes to a point where they are able to heal around the wounds and move forward into their world. So to do that, a healing, instead of adding like a gasp kind of feeling to the rhythm, I'm adding a breath of release
Yes, yeah.
to it. So craft-wise, it's all about finding those little moments where in epic fantasy I would dial it up, and in cozy fantasy I insert space. Often
Give
by
them a
eating
piece of pie.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. So, in Sea of Charms specifically, so they're obviously not going on a road trip, but they go on quite an adventure, quite a journey, right? So if you had to pull characters from any of the books in this series, and who is going on a road trip together, and what is their role? Like who drives, who gets the aux cord, all of that.
I love that. I love that. I would take a whole lot of the plants with me. I love my talking plants. I think Kaz would be really good with a map. You know, he's a spider plant, he's got all the leaves, he would hold a map, he would be very responsible about it. Ree from Sea of Charms would bring the snacks. Possibly the entertainment. He likes to sing.
Oh yeah.
I'd want a few winged cats to cuddle.
Oh yeah.
And we could bring Dax along to play some music. That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Dax gets the aux cord. I like it.
Yeah.
Right? I think that would work. And then, of course, I would get everybody else's food because you need snacks on the road trip.
Yes. I love that. That's awesome. I have to just say I have a spider plant and I named it Kaz because of Spell Shop. Like hangs on my window. It's lovely. Anyways, I had to throw that in there.
No, that's perfect. That's been one of the coolest side effects of writing Spell Shop that I did not anticipate is the number of people that have sent me photos of their spider plants. And I love it so very much. It's just so cute.
As a plant lover, I used to work actually at a plant nursery, and that's just was such a big important part of my life. So I always enjoy seeing how you bring that in. And because of that, I love your Enchanted Greenhouse quite a lot.
Thank you. Yeah, I loved writing that. Whenever people ask me what it's about, I'm like, it's got an excessive number of magical plants. Like, just truly excessive, and I regret nothing.
I'm like, I understand it.
Right? It was so much fun to write, because, like, I would make this one... I basically discovered the greenhouse with the characters, you know? It's this giant greenhouse with different rooms, and every time they'd open the door, I'd be like, all right, what are we finding in there?
Yeah.
That was so fun.
That is fun. Your characters in the series often cross over, and I feel like sometimes in a way that we don't even see until a few books later, where we're like, oh, wait a minute. What's your system of sprinkling those Easter eggs in, and like how do you decide how to connect them all?
I love doing that. Well, because it's an interconnected world, so you can read the books in any order, really.
Mm-hmm.
But the time, the backdrop for all of them is this revolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
The emperor gets thrown out the window, the city burns, and that is the core cataclysm.
Mm-hmm.
That even if it will eventually be for good, because this emperor really deserved to be thrown out the window, and we do need a democracy and all of that. So it's change for good, but it's still change. It still is going to turn all sorts of people's lives upside down, and there's going to be this moment of chaos and unrest. And I really wanted to show, and I could have written this as an epic fantasy, right? I could have done the revolutionaries very easily and had them be the ones that throw it out and big change and yay, festival. And but I really wanted to show how ordinary people deal with the world changing around them and things out of their control happening. So I'm showing the same, it's happening in the same kind of time frame to all of these people, and therefore you're getting the same view of the world from different eyes and different directions, which was really fun to write because they all have different pieces of the puzzle that go into making the tapestry of what's going on in a larger scale, so that when you end up piecing them all together, you can see what's happened in the world, but through the eyes of ordinary people and how they are coping with everything going on in the world.
Which we got a huge insight on this one with, right? Because we saw so many of these characters crossing over, and that was one of my favorite parts too, like reading a chapter and it was like, oh, the jam shop. I'm like, ah. And we get to see just, I think you did such a good job balancing too, like the revolution that is happening, and it's still keeping it very true of like seeing a dead body in the canal and seeing how hard-hitting that is, but also like how you have to keep moving on. Yeah. And your world still is spinning and turning, and how, like you said, it affects normal people. And even though so many of these islands aren't in the revolution, they're still so impacted by it. And when they get news and all of that. Like, you just did such a wonderful job at blending that all together and all the Easter eggs and everything.
Yeah, I loved writing Marin's story because, as you said, she's on a boat. She gets to move. So she's kind of the connective tissue between these different worlds and these different stories, because she's going from island to island. And one of the things I really loved writing this book was getting to expand the world so much and just be like, here's an island, here's another, and have another. And they all have different cultures and different magics and why they're in the empire and what is happening to them next. And that was really fun to create that whole tapestry of this land.
It's amazing.
Thanks. It's really fun. World building is the best.
You do it very well.
You do. Absolutely. I love it. And I love the relevance of it all, and also like her just good-natured self and how she just wants to make a difference in the world, and also like thinks of the impacts on those around her as well with the decisions that she makes. And I just love Marin.
Thank you. I loved writing her. She's somebody who has been betrayed in the beginning and has difficulty being vulnerable and opening herself up, and I really wanted her to bring her to a place where she found her crew.
She did. She found her family and her crew, or she expanded her family, which I love. And even though
found family.
Even though this is cozier and it is like a warm blanket and a candle, I have so many quotes underlined. Like, I have so many things that I at some point was stopping and like reading out loud, because I was like, oh my gosh, yes, that is how I feel.
I love that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it was really important to me. Like, cozy fantasy, it is a lot of peach pie. It's a lot of hugs and so forth, but that wouldn't mean anything if there wasn't the darkness in there. I mean, you need to, if you're telling a story about healing, which is what I wanted to do, you're healing from something. So it's not just all pie.
That's true. All right, that leads us into our next question. I think it's a really good segue of what is your why? Why do you write? Why do you write these stories that you bring us?
For hope. Really, it all boils down to that. And I just think stories in general have the capacity to connect people to each other, connect people to the past, to people leading other lives, and to connect them to something larger than themselves. Because here is this story about people that don't exist in a land that can't possibly exist, yet we can travel there together. Everybody that's reading the same books can travel into this land and share in this shared dream along with me creating it. And I just think that is so magical. That ability to fall in love with something that doesn't exist is so uniquely human, and has the capacity to change us, to make us stronger, to make us see that there's wonder and joy and companionship and friendship and found family and winged cats and talking plants and just all these wonderful things out there that make life worth fighting for.
Yeah.
And I've just always, ever since I was a little kid, just wanted to be part of that magic, part of that thing that books do that make you stronger when you read them. So
I love that so much. And even though this world and flying cats are not realistic, the story in itself is so realistic and is so relatable. And I think that's what sets you apart from like cozy fantasy in and of itself, of like, I really felt like I was living in it, even though I know I'm not going to look outside and see a winged cat. Like, it really was so relatable.
Thank you. Yeah, that's so important to me, to take the reader on that journey, because I've been a reader my entire life. I mean, you can see some of the books around me, but the other wall is very filled with books, and just, I love that. They've meant so much to me. Those stories that you read at formative ages that just stick inside your heart and you just carry them around. They help inform how you decide what kind of person you are, inform how you move through the world. And so it was really important to me to tell a story that hopefully somebody else will carry around with them and maybe give them a little hope, or maybe give them just a rest, a place to escape, and to let those bruises heal before they go out there and fight another day.
Yeah. Yes. I loved your author's note and mentioning the importance of having an escape. And also, I loved your mention of Narnia and looking at looking in every wardrobe just in case, because you're right. These stories stay with us forever, and they do give us hope. And this is exactly how I feel when I read your books. It's love.
So glad to hear that. Yeah, when I was a kid, every single night I would check that closet just in case there's a way into Narnia, and I still will occasionally do that.
You do.
Before I go to sleep, especially if you're like in a new place, in a hotel, and it looks anything like a wardrobe, you gotta check that.
Yes.
You can't just let that lie.
No way. Yeah. I love that. Yeah, speaking of your readers and how you bring so much hope to people, we actually saw your post that you brought a book with you on tour this time and had your readers sign something. You don't have to share what it was, but when reading what people wrote, did you ever have a moment or a message that was written that you were like, this is why I do this. This is my entire purpose, and this is why I do this?
Yeah, I mean, I got the idea from Alicia Dow, who wrote Until the Clock Strikes Midnight, which is a fabulously adorable story. It's like a fairy godmother and in training, and an opposite of a fairy godmother in training, grumpy sunshine all the way, like eating a cupcake. And I'm so grateful to her, to the idea. I was her conversation partner when she was on tour, and I'm like, I want to do that. And it was the best idea. So I brought a copy of Sea of Charms, and at each tour stop, I was like, anybody that wants to leave me a message, feel free. And I read through it after the tour was over on the plane ride back from Portland to New York. I read through it, and I cried.
I would have too.
Right? It was so sweet, and I think all of it meant so much to me that people took the time to write a message. But the ones that I think mean the most are people where the book helped them through something, distracted them from going through a health thing or a loss. And I think that's what fantasy stories can do, and why I feel so strongly that escapism is not a luxury but a necessity. Yeah. Because you need that break for your heart and your mind, and that's not superfluous. That's essential.
Yes.
And so that meant a lot. That's really what I was trying to do, is to just hold out a hand to anyone that needed somebody's hand to hold.
That's so beautiful. I love that.
I love that.
Jess, do you want to ask our next question?
Yeah, okay. So, very importantly, at Romanticon last year, we had the pleasure of asking you what your favorite soup was. It's what we always ask authors that we have the honor of chatting with. But since we've already asked that, which you can tell the listeners real quick your favorite soup if you want. But
what did I say? I can't remember what I said.
I don't know if I remember.
I mean, it should have been French onion soup, because honestly,
I think it was because it's also.
I was gonna say French onion.
Yeah. Yeah, I love French onion soup. I can't eat it gracefully. Like, I have no idea how you.
There's no such thing.
These to separate without like fingers being involved and be like. I'm like the least graceful French onion soup.
Honestly, I should just like have a pair of scissors to like cut the cheese pool as you eat.
That would be perfect, because you gotta eat the cheese. I mean, it's got the good Gruyere cheese on the delicious.
I agree. But so, in addition to that, so going back to Queen of Blood, what would you say Delena's favorite soup would be?
Ooh. What popped into mind was a wild mushroom soup.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, right? Yeah, maybe with some wild rice or something?
Rich and earthy with lots of spices in it. There used to be this soup place near us that had this Hungarian mushroom soup that was absolutely delightful.
My mouth is watering.
Creamy and a little bit, and you'd eat it in a bread bowl. All soup should be in a bread bowl. Yeah. I think that's just how it should always be. So I think I would go with that.
I love
such a good answer.
Mushroom soup. Okay, I'm going to have to find some mushroom soup recipes now, because it's almost soup season, guys. I'm so excited.
It's always soup season in my mind.
Always
Honestly, it's always soup season in my house, but people try to tell me it's not. They're haters.
Not me.
Yeah, they're wrong.
They're wrong.
I mean,
They are wrong.
a good creamy tomato, you get some grilled cheese, that is a meal for any day.
I did make grilled cheese the other day with a tomato and bean and corn soup. Like instead of just a regular tomato soup, it was corn and bean and tomato soup with a grilled cheese, and it was fantastic.
I'm clearly getting hungry.
My 2-year-old's such a soup person, and I was like, yes.
Soup is excellent.
Soup is the best. Okay, so you are, I just feel like always busy and always writing and always creating something. Would you like to talk about what's next for you?
Yes, cheese. We'll talk endlessly about cheese. Now, first the eating of cheese, but also the book with cheese. So the next book in the Spell Shop world is coming in January, and it is called The Magical Cheese Emporium. And it features an island that you do encounter in Sea of Charms. You don't actually meet the main character in it, though she is referred to.
He is. I guess. Yes. That was my guess.
You're probably right.
Okay, I have guesses.
Excellent. Yeah, it's about a woman named Aloran who is a former librarian / revolutionary, and she loses everything in the revolution. She loses her home, her job, her future, her dreams, even her best friend. And she retreats home to where she grew up and moves in with her grandmother and becomes a reluctant cheesemonger in her grandmother's cheese shop, where they sell cheese made from the milk of magical creatures, in particular unicorns.
Unicorns!
So, unicorn cheese features prominently in this novel, and I had so much fun writing it. I can't wait for it to be out in the world. And then after that, the next book after that is in March. And that is it's going to be a kid's book called The Imaginatorium. And it is, think, Build-A-Bear Factory for Imaginary Friends.
Jessica.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm making a list right now of like books I want my kid to get into. And I was just talking, Narnia is one of them. I'm reading Magic Treehouse with him right now. And he's like halfway through the series and obsessed. So like, I'm making my list. What did you say it's called?
He's so smart.
The Imaginatorium. Has a gorgeous cover.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
All right, it's on my list. I will be pre-ordering.
Yay! I had so much fun writing it. I love writing for kids because when you write for kids, it's their first taste of wonder, and that's both a privilege and a responsibility to get to write that, and it's just so much fun.
Oh my gosh! Well, I absolutely trust you with my son's first glimpses of that wonder and that charm, so I will definitely be getting that.
Yay! Thank you.
Oh, of course. So, how much cheese did you eat while writing the new book?
An unreasonable amount. Yeah. There's a farmer's market near my house that has a kiosk called the Big Cheese that had an amazing aged Gouda that every week I was like, I would like 2. And then there's a little cheese shop not far away called Little Cheese. I think it's by coincidence that I had Little Cheese and Big Cheese, and they have all the famous cheeses that I was studying during my research. Felt like I was meeting rock stars when I would get the slice of whatever. And then my third source of cheese was Costco sells Manchego cheese, and it sells it by like the quarter wheel, and it's an amazing quantity of delicious cheese for not that much cost. So
love
much
that.
cheese was consumed by me.
Amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Those were all our questions. We have loved reading. That's all our questions, right, Jess? I feel like we...
Yeah, that is all of our questions.
We just discussed soup and cheese and peach pie. Those are the important topics.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. And the revolution.
Yes.
And a revolution. Yep. What more do you need?
Do you want to tell us... Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Do you want to tell us where we can find you, where everyone can find you on social media?
Yeah, I am all over social media. So my website is just sarahbethdurst.com, and I do keep it up to date myself. So it's got all my future events. It's got all, first chapters of all the different books and all that sort of thing. So if you were looking for information, that is the source. If you're looking for me online, I'm just at Sarah Beth Durst. I'm primarily on Instagram. That's currently my favorite social media of choice, but I'm also on Facebook and TikTok and Threads and Blue Sky, and so you can pretty much wherever you are, I will be there too, usually eating cheese and with my cat.
Oh,
So
incredible. Amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much for the time that you spent with us. This was like a warm hug.
Yes,
my pleasure.
so
It
much
was
fun.
great
So
talking with
refreshing.
you. Thanks so much for inviting me. This was a lovely way to spend the evening. So.
Aw.
You're welcome anytime.
Yes, let's chat soup and pie any day.
I would be happy to.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you everyone for
Thank
listening.
you.
You've been listening to Tipsy Book Reads.
You've been listening to Tipsy Book Reads.
Bye.